How's everyone doing? Happy Labor Day, by the way. For those of you who have been able to work without a, mandate. I figured come on, I wanted you guys to listen to something. There's a fellow on here named Garrett J. White. I kind of like his style's just like mine. I should ask him if he has a single brother. I really like it. And he makes a whole lot of sense. I'm going to play this video for you, so y'all can listen to it. And then I want to hear you guys comment. It's really funny. Basically, this thing says, I agree with Joe Biden. Darkness is here, darkness is coming. Listen, you can't force people to rise, which is true. Just true. Look at that, the world card with burdens card. Yeah. You can't force people to heal. You can't manipulate them enough to do so. You can't manipulate them enough to actually get off their ass. Yeah, there's a death card. People would rather just stay and die. I don't know about you, but yeah, suicidal thoughts have been there. They've been coming in like a shitstorm. I've been hearing that a lot across the collective too. It's not just you, so don't think it's just you. There's a lot of people just giving up. Too much to bear. Too much. Too much. Too hard. Yep. I hear you. I feel you. I feel you. So, yeah, we'll see if any buddy gets on here. These are pretty much how I would say this in my exact thoughts. So, let's talk about it. Mr. Garrett, take it away. He uploaded this on August 30th. It has to do with the state of our own country, the state of the world, the state of Afghanistan, the state of the Taliban, and how people are just so complacent instead of doing what they're called to do with themselves. They're too busy pointing the finger and blaming everybody else. That's why I said the other night, like, I can't just blame one person. Five of Cups as I lifted off. Can't just blame it on one person. There's a puppet master pulling the strings behind the scenes. You don't see him now. We all know he's there. Yeah, there is. I sit in the White House too. Yeah. Fire sign. That should tell you enough right there. Another fire sign. Ooh, there's Saggy. Yeah, Libra season's coming up. I was just reminded of that a little earlier. Shit, it's about to break loose. Either way, yeah, let's move it on with this. Mr. Garrett.
Going on, so I wasn't worried about what was going on. I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Did you hear what happened with what's going on with Afghanistan?" I said, "No." So then, of course, I go to find out what's going on with Afghanistan, and I started looking around what's happening, and then things unfold the way they do this week. And I'm watching President Biden have a speech about this. I'm not even going to get into it. Like all the stuff that everybody wants to get into, I'm not even going to get into it. There's plenty of people getting into, fuck Joe Biden and this is bad and he's weak and
that is how I feel, but yeah.
He's on vacation, whatever. I found something interesting I just want you to consider.
Warrior, it says right across this shirt. Yeah, I hear you.
He was bringing the troops out of Afghanistan. This was a plan even before Joe Biden became
what I said.
President. This was a plan.
This is planned.
Get the U.S. troops out of Afghanistan. We've been there for 20 years. This was a plan, right? This was pre-created. Now, the method that was used and the timing of it, listen, I'm not a military professional. I don't fucking know. I don't know what was going on or what was not going on. All I know is it's a shit show right now, for sure. Okay, now, back up to one simple idea. One simple idea. You cannot force another person compel another person to stand for themselves with more fire and passion than they're willing to stand for themselves, and ultimately expect them to ultimately stand in a place of power with themselves. I know that might be confusing. Let me free myself one more time. If I care about you being free more than you care about you being free, then as long as I'm around helping you be free, standing in power, even without military force, but here in this case with military force, I stand in power with military force to help you be free. And you're like, well, I feel so free because you're here compelling me to be free. But the problem with this is the minute that I leave, you now have to face a decision, and that is, will you fight and defend yourself? You can only take care of your teenagers for so long. At some point, your teenagers become 20-somethings, you got to figure this shit out. Right?
Hang on a minute.
You can't take care of everybody around you.
That is one thing that I have been personally dealing with. Out of, I don't know, since the first eclipse, let's just put it that way. This first eclipse, my daughter has been profusely puking every month for at least 8 to 10 days. Sometimes it would happen, she would puke for 10 days, 8 days, and she would be okay, and then she'd puke for 5 days, and then it'd be a little bit, and then within a couple days, she was puking for another 8 days, and then it happened again in May, June, July, now August, into September. That girl has spent a total of, I don't know, 36 days throwing up all summer. And then in between all of that, my parents had COVID. And it wasn't like just like a week, it was a full 2 weeks. And my dad's still dealing with the remnants of that. He's not fully recovered from it. He's 64. He's going to retire like very soon. So with all of that being said, I'm the only one here. Let's get that straight. Like, I'm the only child here. My sister lives in Oklahoma with everything going on. She couldn't come back home to help. And then as soon as my parents recover, well, she got sick. I had to run to Connecticut for an emergency. I was there for 5 or 6 days. Came back. My parents ended up coming down with COVID within like a couple days. Then, right after they got over it, my daughter started getting sick again. So it's been one thing after another all summer long. This is the spiritual warfare I go through. Not to mention, come home, my cats were sick. I had fish that died.
You are not Jesus Christ. Jesus is the Savior of the world. You are not him. I am not him. We are not Jesus. We are not.
Now, with all of that being said, I'm going to play the rest of this because this is good. He gets real good.
We're not called to bridge a gap
Okay,
between
I'll just let it talk because it just turned on by itself.
That's not our job. We couldn't do it even if we tried. Yet we always try to do this. People try to do this. We attempt to do for others what they will not do for themselves. Now, do I know the full extent of what's going on with the women in Afghanistan right now and the Taliban? I have no fucking. I mean, the darkness and the insanity that is going on there. I know that all Bible study groups I'm part of, everybody is praying their asses off and like super stressed out. Christians are being killed, and people are being killed, and women are being killed, and babies are being killed. Makes me sick. Right? Makes me sick. Makes me weep. Makes me feel horrible inside for people. But I'm brought back to the same principle. The Americans entered the country under one premise. We stayed there for 20 years, and the idea was to what? Teach them about gender. Teach them about how much money did we spend investing in an infrastructure into a place where people ultimately didn't want what we were selling. So on the one side, I get it. It makes me sick. On the other side, if the military that's in that country and the people in that country do not rise to meet the Taliban where they're at, it doesn't matter. They're always going to be in a helpless situation until the country from the inside out chooses to fucking fight. themselves. So I get on the one side, man, it makes me sick. It's like child sex trafficking. It makes me sick. Disgusted at the darkness. The idea that you could lop people's arms off and heads off and do it's like fucking disgusting. Demonic, dark, evil shit. And it's been going on for thousands and thousands of years, back to Cain killing his brother with the rock. And then pretending like he didn't know what was going on. Hey, God, am I my brother's keeper? Killed his brother. So, Joe Biden, President Biden said in his speech, he said a lot of stupid shit. Blame Trump for everything, like always, blaming everybody for everything. But one thing that was interesting, he's like, we were there to establish something, but at some point we were going to leave. And the Afghanis had to rise and defend themselves. No different than I couldn't protect my brother his whole life. At some point, my brother was going to have to fight for himself. I couldn't be the big brother that showed up and beat the shit out of everybody. At some point, he was going to have to deal with this shit on himself. He's going to have to fight in the back alleys by himself and prove for himself that he could do it. Now, I get it. There are people who need defense. I get it. I'm the first one in that mix. I have a chip in me. It's a problem. If people are in chaos, I want to get right in the middle of it and help them out. I was a kid from a young time defending kids against the bullies. I get it. So, like, how do you get that spirit to fight? But see, it's easy. People want to point the fingers and look what's going on in Afghanistan. My question for you is, what the fuck's going on in the United States of America? You think that what we're seeing is, like, we're being distracted by shit constantly. I had this conversation yesterday with a handful of people. And I asked them a question. I said, listen, you're all fired up about what's going on in Afghanistan. I said, but why are you not so fired up about what's going on here? It's like my Christian friends only want to go build houses in other countries. We're like, I'm going to go build houses in other countries. I said, what about the problems in your own backyard? Why do you feel like you have to get on a plane, fly to another country to serve the Lord when you can't even stand up and take the heat here locally? It's like all the people want to have an opinion about my word fuck. They're like, you can't say the word fuck and then talk about the Bible. You can't do that. That's not how it works. I was like, it is how it works. Like, well, that's not Christ-like. Said who? You? You determine that? I love it. I particularly love it from the people who never once in their whole fucking life have taken a stand for shit. They're the people who only take a stand against things, but never take a stand for things. I'm like, listen, if you're going to have an opinion about my fucks, I better be able to come to your page and see you preaching the word from your page. I better see you coming with fire, speaking about the word of God from your page. But if all you've got is the drama of what's going on and talking about what's happening in Afghanistan, and at the same token, all you got is spending your time and energy worried about how many times I said fuck in a 35-minute video, I can guarantee you have one issue, and it's a big issue. You ready? Your fruit sucks. By their fruit ye shall know them. Not by the number of fucks they said. Notice, not by the words they say. You shall not know them by their words. You will know them by their works and their fruit. So I'm not your cup of tea. Guess what? Trump wasn't everybody's cup of tea too. So much so that people in his country couldn't handle his fucking tweets. So they're like, oh, I can't handle your tweets anymore. It's too offensive. I'm so offended. My nipples hurt right now. I'm so offended because you said offensive shit on tweets. Not to mention the fact that most of what was being said on the tweets was a counter punch to already being punched. And that is the problem. I'm going to share something interesting with you. You ready? I was reading it this morning, and I'm going to wrap this up because I got an event happening right now. Now, you'd be proud of me. I'm getting to the book of Genesis. I'm in chapter 6. I'm getting a long ways. I'm getting a long ways down the road. I keep starting back over, but I made it all the way to chapter 6. Here we are, chapter 6, verse 9. We're talking about the genealogy of all these things. A lot of interesting things happen in between here. God in verse 13, he says, and God said to Noah, the end of the flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. I don't know what gopher wood is. I'm not a smart person like that. I have a PE teacher degree, but I am the highest paid PE teacher in the world, so whatever. Make room rooms in the ark and cover inside and outside the pitch. Here's what I think would be interesting. Right? Look what happens here. God talks about the darkness that's covering the world, but notice the next piece. God speaks to Noah and gives him a command. He tells him to do something. I want you to consider something amidst all of that you want to do about Afghanistan and all that you want to do about all the shit that's going on. But amidst the darkness that's rolling in, God is speaking to you directly. And just like he spoke in the book of Genesis, chapter 6, about a darkness that was here and he was disgusted, which I don't know, like that's kind of interesting. Like, is God disgusted? He's really disgusted? I don't know. He says he was disgusted. He was like sad, sorrowful. He said, the world's filled with all this darkness. I'm going to destroy them all. I'm going to kill them all. All of them are going to die. And you're worried about my fucks? You're like, oh, Garrett, I can't handle you. You say fuck too much. I'm like, okay, if you can't handle that, then there's no way you're ready to lead anyone. You sound like somebody offended by Trump's tweets to the point that you would vote somebody in that would sell our fucking country down the river. You better cross-check yourself. Because here's what happens. You and I are all getting asked. We're all getting asked. You all have an ark that you're being asked to build. I have an ark I'm being asked to build. You have an ark you're being asked to build. A custom ark. Consider that you are not much different than Noah. Darkness is rolling in. Can you actually do anything about Afghanistan right now? I'm going to be straight with you. Besides suffer over the pain that these people are going through, I can't even imagine that. I'm watching videos of babies being put over the barbed wire fences of soldiers like I'm fucking crying over the whole thing. I got babies. I can't even imagine. Right? The trauma these women are going through in a place where men are going to, I get it. And guess what? Right here, United States of America, the #1 consumer of sex trafficked teens and young children. The United States of America. The United States of America, the #1 consumers of sex trafficked children in the world is in this fucking country. So we're spending our time worrying about Afghanistan while ignoring our own darkness, pointing our fingers at my fucks when not being worried about your fruit. This is the problem that we have. We become outward lookers and wonder why no one is doing anything different. My friend this morning said, what are we supposed to do? I said, it's simple. Read your word every day. Step 1, I'm sure somebody was offended because I just hit the Bible on the table. You're like, you can't hit the word of God on the table. I just did it. Watch this. I just hit the Bible. I dropped the Bible. Are you offended by that too? Listen. There's a moment in which you are going to have to make a decision about your ark. You can't influence much. You cannot. But you moving on the ark that God's asking you to build in your life right now, you can do that. And if you would do that, and I would do that, and we would all handle the arks that God is asking us to build in our own lives right now, I think what we might find is we had an armada of arks ready to go to war. But the problem is we got too many powerful men and women who inside are powerful, but just like Jesus said, he said, listen, don't do this. Don't put the bushel over the candle on the hill. And all the people who want to talk about how much they know the word so well, a vast majority are weak as hell. And they want to get offended over small shit. Oh, I'm getting so offended over the word fuck. And guess what? You're worthless as tits on a bowl when it comes to actually practically building an ark and dealing with real issues and real problems. So stay in the back line. And keep pointing your fingers at everybody else and be in a situation no different than Joe Biden's speech about Afghanistan, where he spent 90% of the time blaming Trump and his inability to recognize that he did it. He's in charge. The buck stops with him. I guess not. So you and I have a choice. My encouragement this weekend is you ask yourself a question. What is the ark God is asking me to build? What is the ark God is asking you to build? Because that ark is more important than anything else that's going on. It's more important than how many times I say fuck. It's more important than what's going on in Afghanistan and what's going on in China and whether the COVID virus came out of Wuhan or not, whether Fauci's a fucking idiot. All these things you want to stress out about, all these things you want to be worried about, I get it. It's easy. You can get sucked down the rabbit hole. You can spend a whole weekend down the rabbit hole just doing a swipey finger masturbation, just masturbating all day long mentally in your mind, just doing the masturbation game instead of doing what? Put your damn phone down. Get your word out. Go read. Go study the Bible. Say some prayers. Walk and talk with God this weekend. Have a conversation. Ask for revelation. Seek for the door of revelation. Knock on the door of revelation. Ask for God's guidance. But notice what Noah did. Noah didn't just hear the word. He did the word. He did it. He built an ark. Before the floods came, he built and acted on the revelation in God's name. So my question for you is, amidst all of the energy you're pushing to everybody else and all of the things you have zero impact on, your amount of stress about what's going on in Afghanistan is not going to fix the problem. Never will. I don't care if 10 million people are sitting around being upset about what's happening. Nothing's going to change until God's armada shows up, and God's armada can't show up if you don't build your ark. Because if you don't build your ark, then you're just another person sitting on the sideline bitching about fucks and tweets and what coulda, shoulda, woulda, coulda, and working yourself into a frenzy and being so exhausted over it that you have 3 or 4 beers and you sit down and watch some stupid Netflix show and then you call yourself good enough. So, I got some practical tools that can help you out with that. But you better start with the basics. You better get on your knees, sit on your ass, lay on a bed, go for a walk, whatever, however you pray. Start having a talk with God. Right? Because if you don't get yourself right, you're not going to have the courage. You're just going to be triggered by everybody else. You're going to be triggered by their words. It's like listening to the Democratic Party right now in the United States thinking you can go in and have a negotiating conversation with the Taliban. Yet then you listen to all the special force men I know and they say there's only one fucking way to deal with the Taliban. It's violence. Be it. We've become a bunch of sensitive, walking, weak men and women in this country, and it's because of one reason. It's because you let God disappear from your life and you became somebody more interested in critiquing and being pissed off and worried about shit you can't control than you are about getting butt-ass naked in front of the mirror of your own life and dealing with your own bullshit. So it's not if the darkness is here, and it's not if it's going to get darker. It's going to get dark as fuck. It's going to get dark as fuck. It's not if. It's prophesied. It's going to get dark as fuck. You know what's crazy thing about getting dark as fuck, though? You don't have to have fear inside of that. And this is promised also in the word. You don't have to have fear. God did not give you the spirit of fear, but you'll live in fear, a cesspool of fear and guilt and doubt and worry and all kinds of anxiety. And then you need medication and all the rest of it to try to deal with it. Why? Because you want to do the one thing God's asking you to do, which is build your ark. Build your ark. If I can help you build the ark, we have tools here at Wake Up Warrior that help people all the time. We go down the hallway to my studio and we're going to train a couple thousand people right now on this. We've been training them the last couple of days on how to do this. I love to help you find tools like this. They're practical tools. You're like, well, what if I'm not a Christian? I'm like, listen, that's fine. These tools work. They're biblically backed. They work like crazy. They're systematic in our approach, and they help you daily how to live in this kind of power. Because imagine what would happen if every single one of you watching this actually had the courage to be as intense with this online as I am. Imagine what would happen if the thousands and thousands of you that will watch this video, if every single one of you talked this way on the internet every single day with me, and we were an armada instead of you being worried about my language in a time of war. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not singing Hillsong United worship songs at you, and so you now aren't inspired. You feeling a little sensitively beat up. Oh, I'm sorry. Not sorry.
Not sorry either.
Wake the fuck up. Build your fucking ark. Stop in a weak ass bushel covering over your light Christian. And for all the rest of you, like, you're not a Christian. You're not a Christian because you say fuck. You're not a Christian because of the way you operate. I'm like, okay. You keep telling yourself that story. You keep telling me that story, you little popsicle stick warrior. You little popsicle stick warrior. I appreciate you deeply, but please just stand on the sideline while people who can actually get some shit done around here move to the front lines. I'm out of here. I'm out. Share this up. There's people who need to hear this message this weekend. Give it a share.
I figured, he sounds a lot like me. I'll go on my rants a little bit here and there, but yeah, I've been trying to clear my mouth, but sometimes it just has to come out. My gosh, it's like I was saying at the beginning of this. The link, actually, Queen of Swords, I put it on my Facebook. It's on my Facebook timeline. Go check it out. His name is Garrett. I found this and I was like, I like this guy. I shall follow him and subscribe. Yeah, I like him. He's real. He ain't some pansy wansy. He's passionate. You're very welcome. Like I said, his name is Garrett White. Garrett J. White. Makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I don't like, when I said I had to disavow all of politics pretty much, yeah, that's where I'll find my joy. I gotta fucking step away from it. Because these people, dude, I had to block a couple of fucking people this week. Yeah, I did. I've been on a blocking spree for the last month and a half with people who think that they're better than everybody else, people who step on other people to get to their next level, like they like to use other people as a step stool so that they can, I almost want to message him and be like, do you have a single brother that's like you? Probably not. I couldn't get that lucky. Just saying. He sounds just like, does he? Dude, how often do I talk about God? And how often do I cuss? And I even use tarot cards. Oh my God. I use a tool that I stole back from Satan. Woo! Whoop-de-doo. Now I'm using it against him to help people like you guys. That's what I was called to do. That's my arc. Is to expose the darkness in people, expose the darkness in people's lives so that they can get clarity of what they need to do. Whether people like that I do this or not, I really don't care. I've said this from day one. I don't give a shit if you're a Christian on here that is like, oh my gosh, how can she touch those? Those are so evil. It's not the same as a Ouija board, by the way. You can clear these. Ouija boards have demons attached to them. Let's just get that straight. They have spirits straight attached to them. These you can cleanse. A Ouija board, you cannot. Facts. Straight up facts. God didn't tell me to get a Ouija board. God told me to get cards and anoint them. And if people don't like what I do, they don't like that I wear crystals. They don't like that I know the language, the ancient language that they don't, because they can't comprehend it because God didn't gift them in that area. But yet they want to point the finger at what you're doing when they're not doing shit. They're not doing nothing for the kingdom of God. What they're doing is they're doing a whole lot of this and pointing the finger. I've had that so much, and the worst people who do it are fucking Christians. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. That's who it is, mostly. Yeah, I do have witches that don't like me. I have one that's been freaking putting jar spells and all kinds of shit on me. She lives right over here. What are you gonna do? I know what to do. Mirrors work real well when you have negative energy being projected at you. You just point it in the way that the freaking energy is coming from, and it reflects it off. I noticed, and I got put the mirrors back in your windows. when I removed the mirrors from my windows, it's when I started getting attacked again. So I put the mirrors back in my windows. Because once I expose, which will probably happen, once I expose these two people in my community who are total, one's a fucking black magic witch, and the other one, which I know them personally, I got the 411. Well, and it's not me even intentionally sending it back. It's just the way mirrors work. It ain't gonna touch me. It's not gonna touch my house. I put the mirrors back up. God told me to. For protection. Now I have them in two different directions because there's two different people who I know have been lobbing curses. Bitch is blocked now. People who claim to have been friends, best friends of mine. Now there's two little bitches that are ganging up and talking shit. One's a black magic witch, and the other one is just a fucking cunt. A murdering, child murdering cunt. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. That's what she is. Ooh, I use that C word as a Christian. Oops, it's the truth. What's wrong with the word cunt? I know it sounds vulgar, but what's wrong with it other than it sounds vulgar? Huh? What's wrong with that word? I like it. Dude, when you can't get offended by that word being called that word, when that word no longer offends you, which offends a lot of females, it don't offend me. I learned to embrace that word a long time ago as an Aries. I'm like, people would call me a bitch. I'm like, no, you got it wrong. I'm the C word, cunt. Call me that, because let's just get straight to the point if you want to freaking start lobbing insults that you think is going to hurt my... No, I know I'm one. I'm the biggest one you'll ever meet if you piss me off. Let's just throw it out there. Either way, Miss Planned Parenthood over here and Miss Dark Magic Witch over here. Those two are teamed up now. Yeah. These people, dude, they do things right in front of my face. They say things right in front of my face. Then they talk shit about me and think that I'm not going to expose them at one point. When they have the fucking balls to freaking... And it's not like they confided in me. No, they manipulated. I know for a fact because I took her. I took her. Because she didn't have a car. She didn't have a ride. She didn't have insurance. She used her rent money to get a fucking abortion. Okay? I tried to talk her out of it. I really tried. But she didn't have anybody else. All these fucking people rely on me. Well, guess what? Then they decide years down the line that they're going to talk shit about me for no reason. And my kid for no reason. That's the wrong fucking thing to do when I know your secrets and nobody else knows them. When nobody else knows your little secrets, but I do, and then you have the balls to think that I'm not going to say something and defend myself, and basically, since you can't pull out your own skeletons because you know the man that you frickin' are with, if he finds out, he's gone. Because you lied to him. But I know your secret. I don't have an issue if somebody does that. But don't sit there and talk about my life and the way I do things when I've never done anything like that. Ever. Not to mention beg me to take you with my vehicle and my gas money. And then you have the nerve to sit there and talk shit? I think the fuck not. So I'm still like, God, I need to release this, apparently. And or we're going to expose this. It's one of the two. It's got to come up and out because I'm not holding on to these people's secrets no more. I'm not. It's a different thing if I'm working with somebody. There's a mutual respect. I would have freaking been more than fine to not even bring any of this stuff up because it's painful and hurtful. But when you sit there and talk shit about the one person, the only person that would have helped you, a bunch of times and been screwed over every single time. I think the fuck not. I think the fuck not. You're stupid if you think I'm going to just roll over and let you talk shit about me and my kid when we've done nothing wrong. That's the fucking trademark of a covert narc. Either way, I need to get off that tangent. Because I don't give a shit what anyone does with their body. I don't care. It's the fact that she hid it from everybody else, hid it from the guy she's with, and it was probably his kid. She doesn't know. So much. And she had the nerve to say about my daughter? I don't go and sleep around with everybody. That's not the way I roll. I can break up with somebody and stay single for months and months, and it's usually not me going looking for it. I'm not looking for anybody. They usually find me somehow, or something happens. They usually find me. And then if it doesn't, dude, nobody's on my fucking level. Nobody. I'm happy with this. Look, I'm happy with this. I'm happy being by myself. I'm happy not dealing with drama. I'm happy not dealing with fucking chaos and bullshit. It's barely why I get on Facebook. The only reason I do get on Facebook is so that I can at least know what's going on in the 3D, because I have shit going on in the 3D. All summer long, I had shit manifesting in the 3D that I personally had to stay grounded and deal with. I told my dad today, I'm like, Dad, I'm about to fucking lose it. I am about to lose my shit. My kid's going on day 13 of puking. Not holding I think right now she's sleeping, but this has been since we had the solar storm, not this Friday, but the Friday, she's been throwing up. And it's now Monday. It's going on 2 weeks. Yep. Because I have dark black magic witches and a little fucking whore talk shit. So I ain't putting up with it. Like I said, the mirrors are back up. I know how to freaking combat that shit. People are like, well, why would you use a mirror? It's a reflector. Someone throwing that dark energy at me. I have it right on my orgonite. It gets transmuted and right back it goes. That's what God told me to do. Put the mirrors up. So I did. In every direction. Out my window. Oh, Blue, stop it. Oh, that's all he does. Sit there. Shut up. You're annoying. Yeah, I know you know. Come on, coming up. Mom? Either way, I hope that you liked what he had to say. Build your freaking ark. Like I said, I'm rebranding. And there's going to be things. Yeah. There's going to be things. This is going to be my streaming channel. You'll see new channels be popping up here. And the interesting part about it is, yeah, now you see Blue. The interesting part about it is, other tubers also got the same word from God to start other channels in case they come for our main. So we're not dumb over here in the United States. They might think we're stupid, but we're not. And guess what? We still got our firearms. Unfortunately, some of the other countries thought it'd be okay to get rid of their firearms, and yeah. I mean, it could get bloody and ugly and all that other stuff. Either way, yeah, I'm going at this shit alone pretty well. I've been doing this shit alone. Things just got way too complicated over this summer, and I actually had to have a talk with the peace dealer and be like, look, dude, I haven't really heard anything. I haven't been able to upload. Dude, when things get that difficult, they have blockages, constant blockages. There's no, like, I can't do this. I mean, it's just it's easier for me to get on my own YouTube, hit the freaking live button or hit the freaking record button and just upload. Like when you're, I guess if I didn't have, all the other stuff going on, it wouldn't have been so bad. But I can't. Not right now. And he said, well, I sent you an email, like we had the, I'm like, dude, I'm not even, it's no, I assumed it's all good. I'm not mad. So, I told him, I said, I don't even feel comfortable offering readings at this point. I'm not offering readings. You can email me, but I'm not offering readings. You will never, ever, ever see me say anything about readings. If you ever get a WhatsApp number and say, hey, like some of these other YouTubers, because guess what? They're not even gonna know it's me when I start my other channels. Ain't nobody. Well, my main people will. They're not gonna know it's me. And then you'll watch and see. How I'm not shadow banned. Because they're not gonna be able to figure it out. This channel can be shadow banned all they want. I'm rebranding anyway. You're not even gonna know it's me. I got you. Yeah, I do, YouTube. I got you by the balls. Because I have enough balls to fucking do this. So for this channel, I did join the lawsuit. So yeah, you'll be hearing my name too. Yeah, like I said, I had to renounce all affiliations because I do not. I may start doing more on here too. Good. I want, that's why I want to be that person who helps inspire other people to rise up and speak their truth and whatever gets them motivated. Passion. Just gonna let you know, if you live in the US, they're gonna try and fuck you over any way they can. They'll try and steal your videos, they'll try and steal your content. That's what has happened to me the whole entire time. If you say anything about God or Jesus, unless you're mainstream Christian, they'll censor you. Especially if you're in the tarot community and talk God. If you use a bunch of cuss words and there's just a lot of people that don't like you. Yeah, I know for a fact. Like I said, even when I talked to Mike, he said, well, maybe at one point we can do a collaboration. I said, I'm going at this thing alone. I don't know. Like, who knows? I don't know what's going on from one week to the next at this point. It's just better that I'm going at this shit alone. That's the Aries way, baby. I don't have fucking time to be messing around. I have enough shit going on in my life. 36 days of hospitals and emergency rooms and urgent care visits and my parents getting COVID and running to the grocery store and, and then, a friend of mine needed me. I had to leave on a dime, dealing with the phone debacle. 3 phones. One of them fell in a freaking creek, for Pete's sakes. Like, what do you do? And then I was seeing somebody that, like, I couldn't even get internet while I was hanging out with him. So, yeah, whatever. I'm not with him no more. It didn't work out. Like, he's not on my level. He doesn't get it. He's in the 3D matrix. I don't want to be around matrixy shit and negativity, even though I have to check in from time to time because I have a kid who's in the military. So I have to check in from time to time to see what's actually going on in the world because, well, it's kind of where we're at. I'm just kind of like, I know, according to Star Wars and the Star Wars and shit like that from, apparently there was a battle at one point and these fucking draconian, let's just get into the archons and draconian stuff if we want to talk alien now. They blew up a planet. And then they came to Earth. And now they're fucking this shit up. So I'm kind of like, okay, God, these gonna blow this shit up, or it does say that God will destroy this. Well, the earth will always be, but it'll probably be destroyed by fire. I think the next time it'll be raining fire on these bitches. So What does that entail exactly? Could that be nuclear weapons? Man, that would be the way to go. For me, that'd be the way to go. Disintegrate just like that. No pain. You don't see it coming. You just don't know. Poof, gone. I'm kind of hoping more for a rapture experience. Yeah. Where I just vibrate high and I can't be in this realm no more. And like Enoch, I just gone. But I want off this rock. One way or another, I'm going to fulfill my mission and get the heck off of this ghetto ass planet. Because the people here are stupid. It's just the bottom line. The people here can't see beyond the talking points on the news. The people here can't see beyond the bullshit. They have a real hard time seeing across the veil. They don't want to hear God for themselves. They don't want to do what God's called them to do. They're lazy Christians. They go and sit in a church with their hands like this. I saw it. They will never raise their hands. They will never get on their face and then cry out to God. That was my favorite position. That was always my position in church, was prostrate on my face. I didn't give a shit what church it was in. When the glory fell, I was on my face. That was it. And then when the glory stopped falling, it was like, okay, God said, get out of here. This place has been infiltrated. And guess what? I found out from other people, which I really didn't ask a whole lot. I took God with me when I left. I took the God inside me and my big energy, and I left. Well, it hasn't been the same since. This place fell apart. Now they're asking people, I guess, for $50,000 to fix their roof. You know, I actually was talking to a friend who knows about. Hello? Come in. Hold on 1 second. How you feeling?
See, Jack knows. I feel all right.
You feeling okay now?
Oh,
Have you weighed yourself lately?
Well, I'm less than 100 pounds. Last time I was at the doctor's, I was 99. Whenever they didn't give me that IV.
See, this is what I'm dealing with. It's the real shit. That's one of the things that I had said. Like, look, I'm dealing with legit 3D spiritual warfare. These demons are trying to take my family out. Okay? Not other people, you know, like in that in the group has kids and older family members. I have responsibilities other than, just being on YouTube. I wish that was my only, I wish this was all, but, be more ideal for what I do, but I have a family to take care of. It's just me.
Jack?
I know, he loves to do this every time I'm on YouTube. I think he feels the energy. Is that what it is, Jack? Yeah, the struggle horror weight loss since an art. Well, are you talking about like you can't lose weight or because you lost too much weight? I can tell you what. I know one of the reasons I put on a shit ton of weight when I was with one of them, and it's because my thyroid started to go at that point because of the stress of and not just that, but I was in a bad car accident too prior to meeting that really bad one. I mean, anything that I say, my daughter can verify. How often did he cheat on you, Liv?
I have no idea how many times he did it. But he did it a lot.
And how many times did he deny?
Every time.
But I knew. And I caught him. And he still tried to gaslight. And he still tried to say I was crazy. To the point where, like, my poor daughter had to cry one time because what did I do, Liv?
Threw a lamp at him.
What'd I do? I
Picked
wouldn't
up a
do
lamp, chucked it right out of it.
right at his head. Yep. Have you ever really saw me do that to any other boyfriends? Exactly. He brought the worst out of me. Even though other people have done the things that they've done, I've never been so compelled to punch somebody in the fucking face like I did that man. Nobody has ever abused me worse than that person. The masculine was, he was just more mental, but this guy was 5 years of constant abuse. Drinking, gambling, sex addiction, porn addiction. Then when he started looking at girls that were like, dude, God he was trying to give me signs the whole entire time.
Oh, so I just saw this. For you guys that won't find this out because social media won't allow it, in a press conference about the bombing, a reporter asked Biden if he thought it was predetermined attack, and he said, no, we gave them a list of Americans and Afghans that are still there. And then another reporter said, so you gave them a hit list. And then the camera shut off and went black. Just thought you guys should be updated with real news instead of what's going to be taken off the internet forever. This happened literally 30 minutes ago.
Well, you mean the ones that were still there? Well, I'm hearing so many different reports, and the way 9/11 went down, and what I found out about the 9/11 reports and all of that stuff.
Well, this guy's definitely in the military.
Well, I understand he's in the military, Olivia. But we knew about the hit list on the Americans that were there like 2 weeks ago because he's a fucking moron. So.
Well, yeah, but he just confirmed it.
Well, it's true.
But it's not going to be put anywhere.
People have been talking about it. There's a lot of people talking about it. We all know that. Here's the problem. There was like 6 planefuls of freaking Americans ready to, and they've been on this plane. This is what I'm hearing. I don't know if it's true. I think it's just to get people riled up and, want to go back to war and want to go back. You know how the warmonger freaking Republicans are. You know how the rhinos are. They want to freaking fight with everybody. And war's money, man. War's money. A bunch of warmongers. George Bush Jr. is a warmonger. I'm pretty sure that was a stage psyop with 9/11. However, they took out over 3,000 Americans that day. That's the sad part about all of it. Is they took out innocent people to start a war. That's the sad part about it. Oh, but Democrats and Republicans came together. Maybe this is how we can unify again. We'll start a war. Not now, not this time. You do that, we're coming for them. And you're really going to piss the American people off. I mean, like I said, I don't even know how true that is. I don't even know how true the images we were getting on the news are. You can't trust them. You can't. You cannot trust these people. I don't trust news sources. They psyop shit. Yeah, I know the reptilians need blood rituals. I know this. It's very interesting. And it was funny because I think I said something to somebody someone said about, I don't know, it was some teacher that whatever, but it had to do with like somebody that was definitely a female, but like she identified as nothing. And she called herself, instead of male, or she called herself mixed. Whatever that means. I guess that's her identity. I don't know. And someone said, I don't know what the hell this is, but I'm like, no, that might be the grays that are underneath the reptilians. Like, there's levels to this shit. People think there's not, they're already here. Some of them are demons. They're demonic. Jeez. There's levels to this shit. You know, and then I also got another synchronicity. I'll throw it out there. Guess, you know, how they're having all these different variants of, you know, COVID and stuff. There's different variants. Well, you know, you had the Delta strain, you had, you know, they're all named after Greek fraternities. Did you notice this? And I'm thinking to myself right away, okay, they're all named, is this like the Greek gods being released from the Greek evil gods being released from TARDIS at this point? Did God unchain them? Because it says in the last days he's going to unchain them. The major evil forces that are tied up in TARDIS. Which, guess where that is? It's over under I think Iran in the Middle East. It's where TARDIS is, or whatever it's called. That's your Zeus, that's, you know, all those Greek gods. But they're code naming it. Where are all these people actually going to college? What's their fraternities and sororities called? Named after Greeks. Think about it. And they're programming people to be evil. I told my kid, you better, like, do the work in school. Don't internalize it. You make sure you keep your morals and your values. Do not, if you have questions about something or you want to talk about something, come get my, you know, like, I'll let you know. Because they'll try and, you know, identity politics you. They'll make you feel bad for being white, you know, and if you by chance say something about it, dude, I felt bad every day I left my racial and ethnic relations class. I felt bad for being white, like I saw it. And that same freaking professor ended up I get a B+ in the class instead of the A that I deserved. Because I was an A+ student. I had the hardest professor there, and I was getting on papers, I would get 110% instead of 100. That was Dr. Johnson. She graded, everybody said she's the hardest person that grades. She grades it, but how would I get a B+ in a class that's basic? But I'm taking 400 level classes, getting 110% on papers. Explain that to me if I'm not like, and she's the hardest teacher there is. Professor. Wasn't that she was playing favorites, it's because I knew the material. It was downloaded. She knew that I knew. She was like sad when I graduated. She's like, I wish that you weren't leaving because you can actually say the things in class that I'm not allowed to. And then she got blackballed by all the staff because she didn't strike when they wanted her to. She was an Aries as well. Like, she walked to the beat of her own drum, just like I do. Just like I tell a peace dealer tonight, like, look, dude, I'm going at this thing alone. I love you. Like, I get it. He's like, well, I did try an email, and he said, you didn't get the email? I'm like, dude, I haven't even been able to download anything from ClearSight. So now, I get this. Like, there's no hard feelings with anything. I don't care. Like, maybe we could still do a collab. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm going at my path. This is my path. I'm building my empire. Sure, I'll help if I can, if I have time. But with everything going on with my family, that was like a clear-cut sign for me that I need to worry about my arc. Sure, like maybe when things calm down and I get a clear word and there's a clear It shouldn't be, I mean, I get it. You're always going to get opposition, but it shouldn't be that fucking hard. Right? Shouldn't be that hard. When you're on the path, God makes a way. It shouldn't be that hard. So, not to mention, like, there was a whole plethora of different beliefs, and I'm kind of, I love everybody. They can believe what they want, but I'm, it is what it is. I love them all because they're all unique, and everybody's unique in the way that they do things, and I appreciate that. I appreciate authenticity. And everybody on Mystical Illuminations is extremely authentic, which I appreciate. I don't judge them, they don't judge me. Even though like everything kind of like got messed up. So this is just the way my life goes. I get a job or something happens good, and then everything fucking falls apart.
Hey, listen, once you want to lay on this shit.
So like, I'm just gonna have to trust God. And be like, this wasn't like I was able to upload anything. I understood because I wasn't able to do shit. It was just I had to jump through so many hoops too. And I'm just, like I said, it's just easier to do it myself. I'll grow my own damn channel and YouTube won't be able to censor that one. I'll act like the biggest heathen on here. They'll love me. Till I show my face and be like, it was me the whole time. You know how it goes.
So earlier today, I guess a 16-year-old girl pulled a gun out on some people on, I think it's 6th Street.
Here in Sunbury? Oh, great. Now we have girls running around with guns who are 16. That's wonderful. Did she shoot anyone?
No, but she threatened to. Probably swinging around and shit. But there was like 7 cops at the scene.
Well, then she's in jail and...
No, she's not. I messaged her because I knew exactly who the fuck she was. I was like, yo, were you like pulling a gun out on people? She left me unread. So...
Well, if she left you unread, then maybe that was somebody else that had her phone and maybe she's in prison. Dude, you can't just do that. If you don't have a license to carry and you have somebody's gun, you can't just go out and pull a gun on somebody. You're going to jail if you do that. Now, if someone comes in your house, that's a different story. That's called eminent, that's the castle doctrine.
I think they showed up to her house. This girl got beat up last summer, and so she's always getting beat up by the color kids around here, though.
Really?
Yeah. That's how I know her. Because of her always getting beat up by fucking color kids.
See? You really shouldn't allow that to happen.
Well, what am I going to do? I'm 19. They're all like 16 years old.
Well.
The police need to do something about it.
So they're ganging up on her because she's white, or they're ganging up on her because they don't like her?
Probably both.
But why don't they like her?
I don't know. She sticks to herself. She's dating some white guy.
It doesn't make no sense. Whatever. It is what it is, Liv. This is just the way life is these days. That's why you just have to stick to yourself. Stick to people who look at all this shit that I've freaking been dealing with friends. Best friends turning on me. How many, Liv? All of them.
You know how, what do I want to call him?
This is life.
What do I want to call him? Because I don't want to put his name out there. On
Colby?
Yeah, that little faggot. Tell me how he went and got back together with that girl after he was just telling her to go get raped and shit like that.
Yeah, that's the woman I was talking about that had the abortion.
Yeah. Her kids think their shit don't stink, but in reality, their shit probably stinks more than most people's.
Yeah, well, like I said, her shit's gonna come out.
If it hasn't already.
Oh, no, nobody... Dude, if that would have came out, she'd no longer be with Mike. I guarantee it.
Was it his?
We don't know. It was either his or Justin's because she was... I won't say. At the same time. Either way, I'm going to get off of here. Me and my daughter are having a conversation. So, yeah, it's not really meant for YouTube. Love you. Sorry about this. It's how me and my kid talk. So, we just have conversations. So, She has been sleeping all evening, came home in a tirade today. I wasn't feeling good. Headache, depression, suicidal thoughts, all the above. If you guys are dealing with that, it's normal. Like I said, the next few weeks I'm going to be taking inventory and rebranding and all that, all the whole nine. So, yeah, this right here is way more important than somebody else's empire. Making sure she's okay and he's okay. Yeah. I got to build my own ark and do what God's called me to do. Like I said, I figured, like, I don't blame him. Someone doesn't show up for 3 months. I can't say that I blame him. I just had so much going on. How many days did summer? It was like 36 days she's been throwing up since the first eclipse. And then my parents got COVID for 2 weeks. And then I ran up to Connecticut to help a friend. And that was like 5 days. And what the do you do? And then, like, I lose one phone after another. And then I break up with, like, I was camping. Had no internet. It was what it was. Wasn't meant to be at this point. So I'm good with that. No hard feelings. I love him. So I knew it. And I kind of was like, yeah, like, it's just not working out over on. And he's like, well, yeah, I think he thought this, man. I'm really not. I understand. I overstand. So it is what it is. I love you guys. Take care. Have a good night. Bye. Why are you biting me?